All right. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the stream. We're going to go ahead and get into it, guys. My name's Harry. Nice to meet you. I'm going to be practicing caricature today, so if you want to learn to do caricature, you're in the right spot. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just get started. Today I'm going to be using a combination of my pad, and I'll just be using some models, which I'll keep at the top of my screen here. If you guys are on Facebook and you're watching, if you want to be able to see the references or models, you'll have to go to YouTube to watch. But other than that, you can just watch the my process as I go through here, and kind of what I'm going to be talking about, what I'm going to be practicing today. So let's see here. Let me move this back here. All right. So pretty much with my drawings, I like to practice. I've been practicing this idea of using, hold on a second here. Here we go. Let me see. All right, there we go. All right, so I've been practicing this idea of kind of using this box here to draw my cartoons with. That's just where I'm at today, right? Okay. And using like a teardrop shape here, and then using this for where I put my features at. So I'm just going to design some cartoons using this. I'm going to get some references, and we're going to see how well it works out with our references. Okay. Hold on one second. One sec, guys. One second. Okay. 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 So anyway, yeah, I'm just going to design some characters, and then we'll look at some models online to see who we can base our character off of. So here's just some random guys that I want to just try to draw. Okay. All right. So that's kind of how I do this. Let me see. Okay. Well, that one didn't come out too bad. All right. So let's see if we can find some models here so we can get. Hey, what's going on today? How are you, Frederick? Welcome to the stream. Glad you guys could come out today. You guys feel like you're benefiting from the stream. Also, while we are streaming today, tips are awesome. Appreciate you guys in advance for tipping. And let's get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and go to. I guess I'll use Pinterest today. It's just what I feel like. Okay, and we'll just pick a couple of models. We'll just pick out a model to just reference our caricature behind. So this looks like one here I can use. I'll use this one. And I don't know, we can even use some ones that are already cartooned. Okay. Hold on a sec. Okay, hold on. Okay, I got let's see. I got some eye shapes here we can use too. Let's see here. Let me save that image here. I'll save that one. And I guess this guy right here, he looks like an interesting model. I'll try that one as well. And then I'll also open Earth's World because they always have uh, good cartoons there to draw from. Earth's World, and we'll just go here to Earth's World. Okay, and then we can just pick photos from here. Oh, that's a pretty cool one, 2008. Oh, I have to actually save the image in order to do it. That's a pretty cool one. I'm going to save that one too. And then let's start from the bottom here. So this will be our first model that we're going to use to design our character behind. Okay. All right. So let's see. How would I work with this? Well, it's actually kind of simple. I'm going to go ahead and erase this right here as well. I don't need this. This is just practice. Okay. Yesterday I was in class with a new student. Thank you, Mike, for taking the class with me, by the way, if you are watching today. And he asked me, presented some questions to me, and one of his concerns about his drawings was that it was taking a long time. He wanted to find a way not to have to work so hard behind the drawing board when he is drawing, you know. So I was like, oh, you know what? That's a legitimate concern, you know, obviously because I've struggled with that before at times too, especially as a beginning caricaturist. I would draw things that look portraity, and so it required a lot more shading, a lot more lines, and just by the time you finish the picture, you just kind of wore out. And so he was wondering, you know, what steps he could take to get through that. So I'm going to kind of dedicate this stream to that question for him, so that you can watch this stream as many times as you need to be able to help you as well. So for this particular exercise here, guys, I'm going to be using a number 2 pencil. So I'm going to go ahead and sharpen a picture. And then I'm going to go through a caricature with you. I'm just going to go through the caricature. You'll be able to kind of watch how I design my cartoons and how I get from, you know, kind of from point A to point B here. All right, so, hold on. Okay, so let's see here how we want to do this. Okay. And hold on just a second, guys. Let me see something. Am I on my personal page, or am I on? Wait, no, I don't want to post this. Okay, see, I'm on my personal page. I gotta go to Browser World. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I just needed to get my camera here ready and just do a good little down take of it here. I think that's a good shot right there. All right, so here we go, guys. So how would I design my caricature? Well, I guess the first thing I do here, I don't really need this here because this is just having a lot of stuff on the screen, and I'll do some cartoons or some of my demonstrating on there, but for this part I really don't need that. Okay, so let's keep it simple here. I'm going to use a square shape here. Okay, and then I'm going to just kind of round out this shape here. These are my eyeballs, and then I'm going to use a kind of medium-sized teardrop shape here. Okay, and from there, let me see. Let's go ahead and start putting our caricature together. Okay, so I'm gonna work with my hat shape here. Okay. This is like my little hat here. And I got a little hair going down through here. And then I'm just going to have my eyes kind of going over here like this. And then I'll just put my eyes in here like so. Okay, then I just put my little nose here. And my mouth shape. Okay, and then I just kind of, I don't know, something like this here. Okay, so she has like a little sweater there. And a little jacket. Okay. I guess I could just kind of wrap it around here. This is kind of what we want to see here. That looks good, dimension wise. Okay. So I think that's pretty cool here. Okay, so you can see kind of how I built my face up, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and use my pencil, and I guess I could just go ahead and start darkening my lines in. Okay, so let me see. I guess I'll do like this here. I decided to go a little bit bigger on the eyes, right? So they won't look so portraity, right? So I use that whole circle as the basis of my little eye shape, and then I'm kind of coloring or doing my line work with the outside of the pencil. This way, my lines get a little bit darker. Right, put my eyebrows here. Right, we got a little hair that just kind of does like this, right? And then we can do our lips here, and then we'll just go ahead and form the side of the face here. Just do like that. Okay. Again, all of my shapes, I like to keep them real simple. You don't need a great deal of detail. Okay. And then we just go ahead and put our hat here. Okay. And then we'll just go ahead and put our hair. Okay. And then we'll put our little finger here. You know, let's let me see here. How was I seeing that before? I don't know. Just go for it, Rouser. Whatever happens, happens, right? Then here, And then this part will be like the other finger. Right? Okay. All right. And then you got other two fingers here and a little piece to the jacket. All right. Hey, what's going on, Monteforte? How are you today? Welcome to the stream. All right, so then we'll just add a little hair on this side, and then you can. I mean, pretty much that's how I would approach this particular caricature, right? And then you just add some, colors or whatever have you. Uh, I try to keep my format pretty simple. Use that square box, and we're going to be doing just a couple more of these, so you can follow along with my process and see exactly how I'm able to work through these things. Okay. All right. So that was my first little picture of the day. I haven't drawn any caricatures yet today, so that was exhilarating. Okay. All right. All right. So let's go through our next character and show you. Again, I'll slow the process down a little bit for you. Let me go here and go to, I think this was the lady. Okay. So she has a pretty cool little caricature, right? So how about we approach that? You can see how that hat has like it's seated kind of real deep on her head. So I think this is going to be something pretty cool to draw. Let's just put this aside here, and then again, we'll come back with our box shape. So whatever, I just use this box here. I know it's at a 3/4 view, so what I might do is put a little circle over here, and make this like kind of the side of my box, right? All right, so once I have that, then I can use this box to, I can put my eye shapes here again, okay? And then I can put my teardrop shape, and what I'm gonna do here is make this a very short teardrop shape, so her head looks kind of smushy, you know what I mean? And then here you can see where my ear shape would go, or the bottom of my ear shape would go about right here, right? So let's go ahead and put the hat on first. So what I'll do is I'll make it like I'm wrapping around the box, right? You know what I'm saying? To get her that hat, right? Like this, right? And we're using the box as something to fit our head into. Okay, see? So this is how I would do the front of the head, okay? And I could have dropped that down a little bit more, but it's okay. All right, now let's do this here. Let's go ahead and get our this is gonna be like her little chin right here, right? And then we can see here that her little face is just really, really short little face right there, right? And back here you can see her hair is coming out like here. And then you got she has like a huge kind of a shape here, right? And then a little bit of jawline just about right here, okay? So now we'll just go ahead and put that nose shape in there, right? Just like that, okay? And so again, we're just using a lot of gestural type things at this point. As far as her eyes, I see her eyes she's kind of looking down. So what I want to do here is I would want to make her look down like this first in my picture, and then I'll come back with her eye shapes, right? Right? and then I put the way her picture is designed. All right. You see? And then she has some little wrinkles there or whatever. You can put a few wrinkles. Right? Alright. That one came out cool. There we go. See that right there? Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and shadow this in just a little bit. Okay. And then we'll add her shape like this here. Make it small. Okay. Okay. So you got a real easy little cartoon, okay? Again, everything is just about, using this shape is very powerful because it gives me a lot of perspective about which way the head is facing. So that's why I like to use it. And then, from there we can, we'll go ahead and add our line work. So let's do that real quick. So I'll just do like this, boom, 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 right? Just add the line work here. Right. Mm-hmm. 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 You know what I'll do? I'll make this a little bit smaller. Okay, and we'll just put our little hat around here. The back on our hat. And then put the top. Again, this is just a quick little drawing. It's not meant to be a crazy masterpiece, but it would be how I would approach the drawing. Okay. All right, so that is drawing number 2. Okay, again, you guys can see how I use the box shape. I can erase some of my lines here, so what you can see what it would look like when we clean the picture up itself. Okay, so okay, you can see that's like so like just our little drawing of her, right? Okay, not too bad. All right, so again, let's go ahead, guys, and design. We're going to be using people to inspire our cartoons with, right? So let me go to this next one here. This is another guy we can use, right? Okay. And give me just a sec here, guys. Is somebody Hold on a sec. Oh, okay, okay. I gotta send some digital homework to Cherish. All right, no problem, Cherish. No problem. Okay. All right. So again, let's go back and we're gonna use this guy over here as our model. I'll try to get him in the picture as much as possible for you. Okay. And again, how do we do this? Use this box. Okay. First, before we start doing that, it's kind of like this is a usually this shape right here is so powerful because it can give you perspectives of the head very quickly. So I might draw a circle here and use this as a perspective so you can see my picture might be going this way. I can draw a circle here, and the more of the circle you see, obviously the more the head is going to be exposed. So here we might do this, right? And then we might taper the shape down so that now the box is looking down, okay? And it doesn't change anything because our eyes are still going to be down here on the box, right? And then you can see here and here, right? And then you can see the head, and everything is kind of from the top of the head and kind of going down, right? You see? So here you wouldn't be able to, you see? So here you just doing a whole bunch of different, use it for perspective drawing. So with this one, we can see his face is kind of really forward facing. You know what I mean? So what I would do here is I would just kind of use the box like this here. If you're a beginning caricature artist, this is a really good technique to learn. Just do like this. It's really an equilateral box, right? Then you put your eyes, no matter what, your eyes go in here. And then we can go from here and we can say we got a teardrop shape. Let's say I want to make his jawline a little long. So maybe I might draw a teardrop about like this in his face shape, right? From that line, I'll make a teardrop shape, right? And then from here, all I'm doing is putting my chin here, okay? And then I'm going from the eye, this out here, and I'm coming down, right, like that. And then I'm going in here, and I'm making my jawline, you see? And then from here, I'll create my ear shapes, right? Whatever, right? And then we'll go to the top of our drawing, right? And then we'll create our his head shape right here, okay? Something like that. And you can see here, right? We got all these little shapes here to make our drawing from, okay? All right. And then we just add our little neck shape here, right? And we got a pretty good cartoon now. Watch, all we got to do here now is we know what a nose is, because that little teardrop gives us a great deal of perspective about our drawing, right? We know where everything is. See? Look at the perspective that I'm getting. All that information at my fingertips, right? Look, he's looking over here. So maybe I might draw I might draw some squares looking this way, right? And then from here, then I'm using the shape itself to help me to see what I want to do. You see? See how I'm using that shape? Doesn't matter about your style at that point. You see? Here I can drop down. I can go here and you can see how I got a little bit of drawing here and maybe his teeth. All right, so you can see all of the little perspective that I'm getting as a part of my caricature. Okay, So, hey, what's going on, JJ Art? How are you today? All right. So, learning this technique is very easy. If you want to take a class with me, I do offer online classes so I can get a little bit more in depth as to why this works. But also, while you're here, guys, don't forget to like, don't forget to share this stream if you guys are benefiting from the information. And also, tips are appreciated if you are also learning today. This is what I do for full time, so I would appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so again, you can see this how quickly your picture can form up when you understand how to use that basic box shape. So a lot of my picture is formed, or a lot of my likeness is formed. If you look into this box right here, when I use those two circles, I look at that as that's the whole eye. And then I kind of look at the eye kind of like almost a cutout of that circle. You know what I mean? Versus when you draw, sometimes if you don't have a groundwork to work from, your eyes can kind of be all over the place. So that's really, hey, what's going on, Jermaine? How are you today? Welcome, my friend. Thank you for coming to the stream. Also, thank you for signing up for Patreon with us. Jermaine is one of my Patreons. So I really, really, really super appreciate you. Thank you so much, Jermaine. Hope you're doing all right today. How's the family? Okay. So this picture right here was really a joyous thing to draw. Okay. We can add some shadows or whatever we want, right, to the drawing, right? And it doesn't this shouldn't take long to do. I want to really go in, and we'll stop for a minute as far as drawing a person. We'll draw a person here in a minute, but a real way you can get really familiar with drawing these types of caricatures using this particular technique. Keeping you busy, right? That's awesome. Is and a good practice I recommend is kind of draw this box, okay? And then what I'm gonna do over here, I'm gonna show you something here. Hold on, let me go to my other little file here. See if I can pull up some of these for you, okay? And so sometimes you guys assume you practice these the most, but these are pretty cool to use to be able to just kind of experiment with it, okay? And then once you put your little circles in here, right? And then if your teardrop is small, that means you got a baby, right? So you want to do a small teardrop, right? So you got a baby shape, because now your box is going to connect like this. And let's just say your baby's looking over here with a real big eyes, right? And maybe he's looking kind of nonchalantly, right? Which would be something like this one right here, right? And maybe he's not that happy today, so he's doing like this, and his little nose is going to fit right there, right? Maybe he has some big ears, and then here you can just pretty much see the hairline from there, right? Let's say he's got a head like this, right? He's got a little body, and then you just give him a little body. Kids have almost no shoulders, so they look like little beans like that with little short legs, right? And what we're going to use? We're going to use one of these little shapes like this, and then we can add little toes on there, right? And then I don't know. We can also use this here, and then we'll do something like this, right? Okay. And then something like this. I don't know. Let me see. And then we just add some shapes on it there, right? And we got like a little kid. Okay, so you can and see how much of that shape I use to help me to that circle shape I use, how I use it so effectively. So that teardrop, basically the small teardrop again, is if you want a small or kid, a small caricature. Okay, that's what you would use that for. Okay. All right, Jermaine got a question here. Let me see here. When you do live caricatures, and have to draw more than two people on one drawing, how do you know where to place your head shapes to make them fit? Okay, I can demonstrate that for you real quick. Okay, so what I do is again, this box technique is going to help you with that. If we can just go here and let's find. Let me see. Let's go here. Let's just put a couple. Hold on. UPL couples. Reference. Okay, no, I don't want. I want to be like this. Faces. Okay, so let's go with Okay, hold on, Jermaine. I got you right here, my friend. Oh, hold on. Okay, so let's just say these are the two faces we want to draw. Okay, this is the paper that we have to work with. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this box here, and then I'm going to use this box here. Okay, so I can I just kind of put them in relation to one another. I could squeeze them into each other. In fact, I'll just do that just so. Let's say the faces are overlapping for some reason like this. Okay. So now I got my eye. I know my eyes here, and I know that depending on who's in front here, let's say hers is in front, I'll go ahead and use this. Okay. So now what I want to do here from here is I will go ahead and I would still do my teardrop shape. Right. This is his. Okay. And then this one is hers, might be a little bit smaller, okay? So here I can see this is where her face is gonna kind of do like this here, right? And then his face is gonna kind of do like this here, right? And then you can see her neck doing like, well, actually like, and then her shoulder kind of doing like this. Hold on. Okay, so let's do this here. Boom. And just kind of come around with it and do the little hand like this. Right, so let's just say this is it. So I'll put her little head, her little hair, right? Okay, and then I'll come over here and I'll add his hair in here like this. Okay. I'm not really worried about his eyes and features yet. I'm trying to outline everything around the outside of the drawing first, right? You see what I'm saying? So I have everything that I need in the drawing kind of already, you know what I'm saying? So I'll use those boxes to put things in relationship to each other. Hey, Miss Ebony, how are you today? Okay. So we want to put those in relation to one another, right? And let me see here. I got this right here, so I'll just add a little finger right here. Look. All right. Okay. And then from there, I'll just go ahead and start putting my features in. Okay, I can see her feet. I can see she has like a kind of a long nose and some really small little lips like that, right? And then he has like a blank stare, so his eyes are like kind of like this, right? And so now all I'm doing is saying, okay, this is what his eyes kind of look like, a blank stare, right? Actually, it's supposed to be more toward the front here, but like that. There we go. Trying to get that in there. Then we just like that. Okay. And then we got his shoulder right here. And then now I'll just do like this. Look at where her eyes are looking. See, I use the whole shape. And then I'll come over here and I'll go boop, boop, like that. And then do this right here. You see what I'm saying? And then add some little, that, right? Okay. And then you can see kind of from there how it will go. You know what I mean? Okay. So, yeah, the chokehold, right? I could have moved that. I should have moved that elbow was a little bit off. I got the hand just right, but I was trying to conserve space. So this would literally be where everything needs to connect at right here. There we go. So everything looks a little bit more. You see? And then we got this here. Boom. And then everything just kind of comes forward at this point like that. You know what I mean? Right. Okay. So and I'll go. I'm gonna do it again for you, Jermaine, and kind of slow it down. Just remember that if you use the same size boxes, your heads are gonna come out like they're related to one another. You get what I mean? But if you gotta kind of use almost like a common sense thing as far as your positioning is concerned. What that means is if you have a child, you got a dad, right? And then you have a child. Put the boxes in the relationship that you want them to go in. Now, this box is obviously going to be in the front, right? Hey, thank you so much, Gordon. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that tip. Thank you. Okay. All right. Awesome. So you want to make sure that you understand which box is in front of which. So this obviously is going to be the back box. This will be the front one. So once I do that, look, all I got to do is do like this. Again, am I drawing a baby here? Cool. I have a small teardrop. If I'm drawing dad, I'm going to draw a larger teardrop because this is going to make my face appear to be bigger. And then when I connect that, just going around the bottom of the teardrop, I'm by nature going to have a bigger face here. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So let's say he's looking at his son and the son is looking at the dad. You want to just simply get that in first. Okay. And then you put your ears, whatever, right? And his little ears here, right? Okay. And maybe son is touching dad's face with his little hand right here. Okay. Whatever. Okay. All right. So now from here you can do like this. You get all your expression in first. Let's say the son is making it look like this. Right? See how I made him have his expression, and then I'll come back, right? And then I can use less of the circle if I want, right? Or more depending on what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? At that point, it really doesn't matter. You get what I mean? And then you put your little hair, right? Because we can see where he's at, right? You know what I'm saying? And then we got dad. Maybe dad's eyes are a little squintier, right? Maybe dad's got this and dad has a little mustache, right? You see? And then maybe dad is like, I don't know. Maybe dad's like, I don't know. What's dad doing here? I don't know. Let me see. Maybe dad's, you know what dad has his little, he got a pencil in his ear. Perhaps dad is at work, right? Maybe this is me. Maybe this is cartoon dad me. That doesn't look like Ethan, but you know what I mean? You see? So you see how we can put those relationships together, Jermaine, it becomes very easy at that point. So use those boxes again in relation to one another. I think that's the easiest way to do it. And if you have more people than that, it's just as simple as going one, look, two, one behind the other. Small person, kind of big person, that person over there. So we got all these people in this picture, right? So now what we're doing is looking at who's ahead of who. Here, 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 here. Okay, then we got eyes for everybody. And then you look at your eyes based off of, right? So let's say they're looking up here, they're looking down there, they're looking up there, they're looking down here, right? They're looking over here. Okay, you see how I put all my all of my pictures, right? Now let's go ahead over here. And obviously with this one, obviously we wouldn't be able to see this eye because he's in front, okay? So whatever is cut off at that point from this face, right? Let's say it's here. So that's all cut off. So let's say this is going here. Well, now here goes my face. All right. And then this one, I got my teardrop going here. So here goes that face. Here goes that neck. Here goes this neck. Let's say this is a small person again. Okay. Here. And then we got a neck going here. Maybe we got this person here. Right. And we're going here and here. And then this person over here is going, that's a little person over here. We're going here. Right. And then we're constantly thinking about what is going in front of what. You know what I mean? Okay. Right. So we want to build a shell of our drawing first and all of the emotions. Thank you, Jermaine. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. All right. And then from there, watch. We can add noses here, round nose here, little round nose there, because it's easy for me to keep everything in perspective, right? Right? When I understand what I want to do. Okay, so I got all my ears in there. And then maybe this guy has a, I don't know, maybe over here they have let's say this person over here has a little hat, right? I can do this. And this doesn't have a hat. So let's say they have a little hairdo right there, right? Okay. They got some shades on maybe. Glasses, right? Okay. And then over here, let's say this guy has a hat too, right? And then this guy, he has on his shades on his head, right? Or maybe he has like a little box top haircut, right? So you see how we can theme these things out, right? They don't have a hat at all, right? And then, you know, whatever, we can make it into a quick little medley of people, just like that. And we got like a little theme going on, you know? Okay. Okay. So those boxes are going to be very, very, very powerful once you get to know how to use them. I actually learned that watching. I watch a lot of different artists on YouTube, and so they'll give me, you know, tips and pointers just like I get, and then I'll take them and I'll customize them based off of, you know. And there's some things I just come up with on my own, you know. So, but we all get inspired, you know, by each other. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. All right, so let's go to our next model. And again, thank you, Jermaine, for that tip there. I appreciate you, my brother. All right, let me see here. Let's go to another face here. Maybe we can try this face here. This is a good face to try. Okay. Let's put these over here. Having a good drawing day today. I had a lot of things on my mind as I was beginning this stream today. I don't know. It's just, sometimes you wake up and you got a lot of things on your mind, So that was where I found myself at today. But then again, I always have a lot of things on my mind. Art is like a real outlet for me. I like to. So it's the only thing that when I start doing it, I forget about everything else. Like literally forget about everything else. So I'm actually feeling better now that I'm just sitting here drawing and doing this here. Okay, so let me go to my next character. Okay, so how about we draw this guy here? Okay, again, what we want to do is establish our equilateral box. Remember, this box is going to be equilateral. Okay, unless you can go outside the box and do something different if you want to, but it's really no need to do all that. Again, I know he has small eyes, but he has small eyes in relation to these circles. So again, now you won't run into that problem that you'll see with a lot of caricaturists where they make the eyes big for no reason. You know what I mean? Because they don't know what to do, so they make the eyes big and it doesn't look like that person. You know what I mean? So once I have that, right, then again, you can see here, he has a relatively, he has a very dumpy, so I'm going to put a little teardrop here, right? So I got my eyes, and from this center line down, I got my teardrop, right? So here I'm working off of here, all right? And then from here, let's watch how we get that head shape in, okay? Here we go. So now we're going to go from basically from where his eyebrows are, we're going to come around, and you can see here that we have a very good, caricature of him in a short amount of time. You see how quick that is? Okay, we don't really need a whole bunch, and then we can just do like this. Okay, let's look at that nose shape. Look how big the nose shape is within my teardrop. You see? Okay. And you can see here right there. Now watch the eyes. Okay, his eyes are small in relation to this. So what I'm going to do is do a little shape like this inside of there. And then I'll curve this line around and use the whole shape to bring my idea in. Okay. See how I did that? And it gets real simple at that point. And the circle helps to tell you where everything's going to kind of go. And see how it takes seconds to draw. That teardrop's going to tell you where to put everything. See? And let me see here. Oh, and his little coffee. Okay. All right. And the way you can exaggerate them, it's just like really so many things so many ways you can do it. Your individual style again doesn't have to be like mine. But when you are again drawing those eyes, just remember, try to get, like, if their eyes are small, use a small shape in relation to that shape, and then build around it. You see, and then use the circle as a means to put your eyebrows around. You see, even if you don't want to use the box, you can kind of see how the relationship still goes just by simply doing something like this. 1, 2, 3, right? See, and then you got your relationships of your brows. Let me sharpen my pencil again. All right, what's going on, gaming with Jay and Corey? How are you today? Welcome to the stream. I need to. Okay, so you see how easy we were able to find that relationship, right? In our drawing real quick, right? And we're using this to put wrinkles and stuff around. See, this is the wrinkles. The small shape for his eyes, whatever that shape might be, is going to go within this shape. And then you use the shape to kind of draw your eyes around that, you see? And then you add whatever your nose shape is going to be. Okay? Whatever have you. Okay? But I just find it easier when you have the whole box, and then you can, like with him, I could have made this really big, right, and this really small, and then I know his nose, based off of the nature of where things are, I know his nose is right here somewhere, right? I could do a little small mustache, do this again, and then do that, right? And then like this, right? And I can do really small shapes in relation to this, right? And little eyes. So it's so many ways. Again, I could have drawn this, and that really all depends on how you draw your. It really depends on like how you draw your teardrop shape at the bottom. So if you use this, you can do a teardrop like this if you want. It doesn't matter, because now all that's happened, what you're saying is that this is going to be this, and I'm going to make a wide shape here, and then my shape is going to go around that. You know what I mean? So all depends on, again, how you want to use it. Okay, let me see here. All right, let's go to my next little drawing here. What time is it? 1:19. What time did I start this stream? I don't even remember. Okay, let me see. Let's see. Yeah. I'm actually, we're still in the process of trying to get that ironed out. We've been trying to just kind of raise money for it. It's been coming slow, as far as our YouTube's concerned. I just think we're in a time now. I guess maybe people are very like. Sometimes everybody's feels struggling or whatever. So, we totally try to understand that. And those that will want to give will, and those that don't, they won't. But we just been kind of inching more toward it. But I appreciate you asking, Jay, Gaming with Jay and Corey. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're still raising funds to help with that. So, I think I've drawn her before, actually. The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy. Let me see. Let me see here. Let me go with let's look up Bay M. Famous faces. Famous faces, huh? Nicolas Cage, huh? That looks like a fun face to draw. Who is this? Post Malone? Let's see if we can do a cartoon of him real quick, right? All right, real quick. So we're going to do like, excuse me. Okay, let's see here. I don't know. Let's see here. I don't know what that says, so I'm just going to. Oh, it says stay away. Is that what it is? Okay, thanks, Miss Ebony. I didn't even say. I know the one on the top says it. I was talking about the ones underneath his eyes. I didn't know what that said. Yeah, again, just something real quick, right? Erase all my guidelines. Some of the pencil. All right, guys. So, oh yeah, just the bottom of the what's underneath the eye. Yeah, it looks like somebody just scribbled underneath there. That's what it looked like to me too. Got some gold in his mouth. Okay, and that's just my real quick little Post Malone. Again, using the technique with the box. right? It makes everything so much easier to see perspectives when you put a little bit of framework down first before you start drawing your picture. So sometimes I'll use it, sometimes I won't. But again, this is kind of up to the artist how you guys want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, let me see here. So we will shadow in our drawing, and then we're gonna start here in a little bit, getting ready for the word of the day. So that's where we just share a word of encouragement with you before we leave the stream. You know, we all need encouragement. We all go through things, right? I guess before I do the word of the day, let me explain to you just something real quick. When I share the word of the day, I'm not telling you how to live your life. Because you're going to live, if you're an adult, or even if you're a kid, you know, you're going to ultimately, what choices you make are choices that you make for yourself. And the only thing we're really doing is as human beings, we pass along information that has helped us to succeed at whatever it is that we're doing, right? We pass that information down. And if the problem with that is that when you pass down the wrong information, well, then everybody behind you gets the wrong information. And then this is what, I believe that scripture refers to as generational curses. We were talking about that in church Sunday. We were talking about the problem with being deceived is that you don't know you're being deceived. And so somebody can think that what they believe is absolutely right, even if there is evidence in front of them that it is right. They will argue against that evidence. They'll find a way to say that evidence is invalid, and that evidence is invalid because of this. You know what I mean? And so that's I like that Post Malone. That came out cool. Okay. Yeah. I didn't think that was gonna come out that good. It actually looks, when I see that, I definitely see a Post Malone there. All right, so we'll just put the I don't think you can mistake that for anybody else, right? Other than Post Malone, right? So again, when I share that with you, then I'm not telling you what to do or anything like that. I'm just sharing with you some things, some things that help me to see the world differently. As a kid, I don't know. I had a lot of. I was one of those kids that smiled, but I was depressed. I didn't. You know what I mean? So I had to learn how to. I had to go back and deal with some things as a grown up. As a grown up, I did some pretty ridiculous stuff as a grown up that all really kind of stemmed from my childhood. You know what I mean? Like just how I saw the world as a child. And when certain things happen to you as a kid, you don't know, you don't really have coping skills yet. You don't know anything other than the generational way that your parents or whatever taught you how to deal with things. Just tough it out, be a man, all that stuff. And sometimes that stuff is just, it doesn't have any, it doesn't make sense to do it that way. You know what I mean? But just because we were told this is the right way to do it, we buy into that, situation. So, how I operate now is I understand, or I believe that the Bible is the objective standard of truth for me, and then it works for me. when I apply, because how I judge things is when I apply what it's talking about. A lot of times people get caught up in historical facts and things that they can't prove per se, right? But if you try something physical and tangible and then it gives you the result and it came from a particular source, then well, that's how you test and see that things are good or bad or usable or whatever. And so that's why I share the word of the day, because it's just things that I've been able to implement or do in my life that really helped me to come out of like depression and suicide thoughts and all kinds of stuff when I was a kid, because it was just like I said, I didn't know how to process some of the things that had happened to me. So I was real, I don't know, I guess I was real like, I hurt a lot of people. Like, not even on purpose. It was just because I was hurt. You know what I mean? I didn't like, I had like collateral consequence. It was like it was just that I was so overcome with desperation to receive something, and then in that desperation, you know, I hit somebody crossing the street. You know what I mean, or so to speak, metaphorically speaking. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, that was kind of me, in a nutshell. But anyway, man, you know what? I think that uh, I covered enough drawing for you guys today. I showed you how to do the two people in one, how to use this to draw, how to use my technique to draw babies and children, right? And if you want to take a class with me, I do offer one-on-one classes online. So if caricature is something that you want to, let me turn this off real quick. So if caricature is something that you want to get into, you're definitely, I can show you what I know. Really, it's not a hard field to get into if you don't second guess yourself a lot. Sometimes we can second guess our, thoughts. Once again, I'm the number one overthinker. I think sometimes I overthink things too much, but I am working on that aspect of myself as well. Again, I'm not like perfect or anything like that. Darn near though. Nah, I'm messing with you. But I wake up every day and I know there's something else to work on with myself. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead, guys, and we're going to take a quick little intermission here. I'm going to get out my devotional, and then I'm going to do my word of the day. Again, guys, if you felt like you benefited from the stream and you want to tip us, or if you want to donate to our roofing fund, you can do so by Cash App. Pretty much what happened is I have to get the roof on the house replaced. It's going to run us about 18,000. And so we're trying to raise money through what we do for a living, right? Which is where everybody gets the money to do. But so we're reaching out to our fans that, subscribe with us or whatever, and asking if they would want to donate to us. Or if the very least, if you could also sign up for our Patreon page, which is where we put up other videos and give you different perks and stuff. If you would join with our Patreon, I believe our least expensive tier is only like $5 a month. And then you get access to some videos that I created specifically for Patreon. So if you want to do that, thanks a lot. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the word of the day. I'll be right back in just a moment. All right, thank you, Cherish. I'm gonna have to start that over again. All right, so we're doing the word of the day. Um, this is a part of the stream where we talk about, I share a little bit about my faith with you. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. Uh, I believe in the sacrifice that He made at the cross for my sin. I believe that He is the way, the truth, and the light. I believe that there's no other way to God but through Him. Um, I don't lean on my own understanding of the world anymore, because my own understanding of the world changes based off of what I feel like every day. And every time, in other words, it's pretty emotional. Emotions change. And so I don't believe in I don't do things based off of my emotion anymore. It's okay for me to feel a certain way. It's okay for me to feel resentment or anger or burden or strife or envy. These things are going to come and go in your life, but it's not okay for you to act upon those things. You know what I mean? So or even stay in that mentality for a long time, because it is kind of dangerous. The purpose of this part of the stream is not just to help us, not just to grow. I don't want you to just grow as an artist. My desire is that everyone here grow as people. We were talking about the different types of churches that they have now and the different types of people. And I related to this so much when I was in service Sunday, as my pastor was talking about this, that a lot of the churches have turned into concerts or just ways to entertain people without challenging them to grow. Whatever they can't say, they won't talk about hard subjects, things that's going to challenge people to think about what they're doing. They just want to say whatever is necessary to get people to pay to come to their church, even if that thing is wrong. And so I felt that because on this stream, I've noticed, I've looked at a lot of different types of channels, and there's a lot of money to be made on these streams. If you're willing to say what you need to say to get that result. Are you willing to say that men can be women and women can be men, right? Are you willing to say those things and agree with those things? Are you willing to say that if you're living with someone and you're not married, it's okay, because you're supposed to sleep with them before just to get to know them? Why would you buy something without testing the water first? Is it okay for me if I said that, even though I know it's wrong? I'm saying, but am I willing to say a lie just to get you to watch me? And the answer to that for me is no, because I understand that I'm going to have to answer for every thing that God has blessed me with. And besides, He's the one that holds all the keys, all the power. I don't believe that there's a person on earth that has a power to send anyone to heaven or hell. I only believe in what God says. I don't want to stand before God one day and He asks me, I blessed you with this. What did you do with this? I gave you this gift and this talent to do this with. What did you use it for? And a lot of us will just go through this life, and we'll use we'll use our gifts and our talents just only for ourselves. Just, even if it's something as being attractive, right? You got, the ladies now, they got these things, these OnlyFans pages, right? Somebody's daughter, right? Because I have daughters. I have 2 daughters, right? And rather than people want to look at them. People want, desire to be around them because of their attractiveness. And rather than to use that attractiveness to lead people down the right path and to help to change our world for the better, they'd rather take their clothes off and let people look at them, their private stuff, just so they can get some money. And it's really just a shame. that's something like that could happen, or that you would do something or be disrespectful to yourself. Again, there's some that's going to argue with me against that because they've been deceived by the enemy to believe that this is what the purpose of their gifts and talents for is, only meant to serve numero uno. So I'm going to share this scripture with you today. And I want to tell you this: the only way you're going to really see the power of God in your life is if you really believe, not like half the way believe, not like you won't make a mistake ever again in life, but that you believe that there's a God and that there are consequences, and that you do, and a God that you have reverence and fear and respect for. You don't just come out any way. Think about it like this. There are a lot of children that don't respect their parents because they don't have any reverence for them. They'll say anything to their mom, say anything to their father. They'll throw their mother gets sick or whatever, they'll throw them in a nursing home and never blinking. You know what I'm saying? They got kids now that have tried to kill their parents just so they can get inheritance money. Right? They have no reverence for this, for them as a parent. They have no reverence. When somebody doesn't have reverence for something, that means that they don't have any respect. You know, when I go to church, I see now the church culture has turned into baseball hats and ripped jeans and anything you want to wear to church, right? And I look at it and I say, man, because I'm very traditional in the way that I go, I have to look like I'm going to see God, like I'm going in the presence. Excuse me, let me turn off this. Wait. Excuse me one sec, guys. Let me just put on my do not disturb here. Okay. So I'm hold on a second. Yeah, it's I have reverence for God. So when I say I have reverence for God, that means that I don't walk in church with my baseball hat on, because to me, I'm dressing the way that I'm going to be in the presence of God. I'm not, if you go to the White House, you wouldn't go, or if you go into a job interview, you have reverence for that person that's going to give you that job because they have that money. You're going to go in there in a suit, in a tie, you're going to be shaved, right? You're going to look good. And the thing is not because God, you have to understand that people judge other people, and God blesses people through people. So sometimes it's somebody that needs to receive something from you, but because you look like you homeless, or you look like, and nothing against homeless people, I'm saying, but you look like somebody, you don't look the part for somebody to receive any information from. I don't know if you've ever been to a doctor before, but if you go to your doctor's office and you go in there and you see some guy that's, he just is dressed any old kind of way. His hair is out, he doesn't look shaved out. You're not going to respect his opinion as a doctor, because we're human beings. If you're going to go work out, you want to get in shape. Okay, why do you think on YouTube, what's the guy, every workout channel that you could ever go to, what's the first thing you see? People showing their body off. If it's a guy, he's going to have his shirt off, he's going to have his muscles right, jacked out, because he wants you to know that, hey, look at who I am, because I know you. They know that people base things off of looks. Even if this person was born like that, people will believe it because of the way the physique looks. You get what I mean? So let's go into this devotional, and I'm curious, and I'm ready to see what God has to say today and how He's going to speak to us. So the word of today is don't get stuck. Don't get stuck, right? And wow, that's pretty. Hold on, that's pretty straightforward. Don't get stuck. I'm gonna go to the book of John here. John, and we're gonna go through 14 and 16. Okay. And it says here in John 14:6. Okay. Hold on, I wasn't there yet. Here it is. 14:6. Okay. It says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me. Okay. So I think that's a good way to start this, because now, remember I told you that for me, in order for us to see, I understand in order for me to see the blessings of God, I have to think of this is the only way. You ever had a situation in your life and you thought, oh, let me give you another way. You ever been to a neighborhood? I have, when I used to do drugs. And they had these apartments and they called them one way in, one way out. Right? And dope dealers love these type of apartments because the police couldn't sneak up on them, because they can't come from the back and come in. They can't come from the sides. They can't come from no other way but through the front way. That means they can see everything coming. Right? Just want to put that picture in your head. So it's saying here, Jesus is saying, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one goes to the Father except through me. So let's imagine that God is living at the back of this apartment complex. Just put this in your mind for a second. Okay? Well, the only way to get to him is to go through the front, through the apartment complex, and into his apartment where he resides at. That's what this is saying. So when we have that mentality and we really hunger for and want to have God as that relationship with God, and we want him to, we want to be with him, we want to commune with him, we want to feel his presence, we can't go there any other way than this way. So this is what Jesus is saying, that we need to, in order for us to see, we have to believe that Jesus is who he says he is, that he can do what he says he can do, that he is the Son of God, that he did die on the cross, that he did rise on the third day, so that we could be atoned back to God. He is the atonement to put us back in presence, because God and sin can't exist in the same place. So therefore, Jesus acts as the what's the word I want to use? He acts as the go-between between us and God. He is the purifier of us to make it so that we could be in the presence of God. Look at it like a filter, right? That we have been washed and made clean and whole through the blood of Christ. That's what this is saying. So he's saying that the only way we can experience God and be in the presence is that we have to believe that this is who Jesus is, and this is what he exists for. And then we must live our life, not just say we believe, but we must live our life in accordance to, or seek to be how he was in the scripture. Now, a lot of people would be like, oh, I don't want to believe in Jesus for this and that because of history and all this, right? But if you could look in this Bible, there's not one thing that you can apply in this Bible to your life and it will make your life better. I don't understand. Like, it's no such thing. If people lived according to this, do you know what kind of world we would live in? Just think about that. Let's just stop right there and think, if we lived according to what it says in here, not like trying to be bend the word to make it like be what we want it to be, but if we lived and we were respectful to one another, and we didn't wanted to cover the things of our neighbor. We didn't lie. We didn't cheat. We didn't steal. We wouldn't have no sex trafficking. We wouldn't have no people homeless. They got people out here that can't even afford to live anywhere because some people are just so greedy and so self-centered and conniving that they let people just live on the street and be hungry, right? Before they help them, they'll walk right by that person, right, and not want to help them, right? They won't help the single mother. They won't help the drug addict. They get a car, they get a position, they get over, and they think they're better than everybody else. But if we lived according to the scripture, none of these behaviors would exist. We would literally have heaven on earth. And this is what God is trying to show us. This is what Jesus is trying to show us. If we could learn to live for others and not for ourselves. The thing that he sacrificed himself, right? He was the sacrifice. He died on a cross. That means he's telling us by example that I'm willing to give up myself, even my life, for you. That's what he's saying. Right? Imagine families that had that unity. Imagine families that have that kind of unity. I'd like to be a part of that family. Where families say, you know what, because they say that, you know what, Mom, I love you so much that I'm going to give up me. Dad, I love you so much I'm going to give up me. And sons saying, and parents saying, I love myself so much I'll give up myself for you. Nobody's getting taken advantage of because everybody believes the same way. That's what the scripture is trying to get us to see. But because we all want desire, I want this, I want this, I want to be the next TikTok sensation. Again, I want to be the next OnlyFans model. I don't see nothing wrong with doing whatever I can do to make my life better, to do whatever I want, to step on some more people, to mislead some more people, right? I don't care about that as long as I'm okay. Who cares about them? It's a dog-eat-dog world. But this is saying, this is what we must believe. I am the way, the truth, and the life. It says, but sometimes it can be hard for you to understand God's way of doing things in this life. We don't understand why God made the family the way he did. A man, a woman, and children. We don't understand it. We might not understand it. But the thing is, like I tell, like if you're an adult, okay, if you're an adult, you can relate to this. If you've ever been in charge of anybody, if you've ever led anything, if you got a little brother, you had to lead them, whatever. A lot of times you're going to have to make moves as the leader that the subordinates will not understand why. When I was in the military, when our commanding officer said we have to do things this way, I didn't understand that. When I was in basic training, they would make our bed up so tight that you could bounce a quarter off of it. When the MEDs would come in to inspect it, they would put a quarter down, and it had to bounce up and down. That's how tight your thing was pulled to the bed. And I thought making your bed up to that extent was kind of stupid. I didn't understand why we had to do that. What is that? We just sleeping here. Why is our bed? But it was a much deeper purpose that we couldn't see or even identify with why we were doing it. It was building something else up in us that was more important than the act itself. Okay? Now, it says, again, but sometimes it can be hard for us to understand God's way of doing things in this life. It's easy to get your mind stuck on your own idea of how things should go. But it says don't get so stuck on your idea that you forget to seek the counsel of the Lord, to look at the true way, the right way things are supposed to be done. You know, it's easy for us, when life ain't going our way, we start sitting around thinking about the way that if I had it my way, this is the way that I would do it. Right? If I had it my way, this is the way I would do this. Right? But the thing is, just really understand this. Check it out. You don't have control over nothing. You just think you do. That's an illusion. Control is an illusion. God said his word will not return to him void. We are living in this, as we talked about in church this weekend. And that's why my pastor's an awesome guy. I like him because he really talks about these issues and challenges us to be better. You know what I mean? By saying what needs to be said. But we're living in a time that the Bible has predicted, that look at what is going on in this world right now. You know what I mean? That people would trade the truth for a lie. We're going to be living in a time where people will not accept sound doctrine. They won't. Common sense does not matter anymore. Science doesn't matter anymore. What facts right in front of your face don't matter anymore. Right? Biology doesn't matter anymore. None of that matters. The only thing that matters to people now is this is the way I see it. But it's saying here, don't just get stuck on your own ideas and how things should go, because that is a person that becomes unteachable. You will eventually, with that mentality, you know what that's going to lead you to? It's going to lead you to a life of stagnation. In other words, you're going to sit in the same place for the rest of your life. And I don't know if you know about sitting in the same place for the rest of your life, but you could maybe ask some guys in jail about that and how they feel. Right? I can remember those times. Imagine sitting. Nobody really likes to do that. Just think about it. We like to go different places. I want to go places. I want to see things, right? But what if you were just stuck in one place your whole life, right? You could never go anywhere else but that one place. Eventually, what that's going to do is going to drive you insane. So if you think that people are bad and you stay and people are bad and people suck mentality, and you don't allow anybody else to show you why people don't really, you get what I'm saying? And why there is something to live for, you're going to eventually want to harm somebody else, right? Or you're going to eventually wind up not wanting to be here anymore. This is what suicide comes from. Suicide is, for all intents and purposes, somebody that got stuck on their own idea of the way things should be. And because their own idea is unrealistic and it doesn't line up with facts and it can't happen, it can't exist, they say, I'm going to kill somebody else or I'm going to kill myself. When things are not going your way, it says the word is encouraging us not to panic. And I'm listening, God. Accept the situation. When things are not going my way, I should not panic. I should accept the situation. Feeling sorry for myself can easily spill over into feelings of resentment and anger. I'm going to start feeling like everybody's doing me wrong. And I can so relate to that. Because as a married man, a lot of times me and my wife might have a disagreement, right? Or maybe she's telling me something that's really for my own good, but I don't want to listen because I'm a man and I want to do it my way. This is the way I think it should be done. I think you're being unreasonable. Why do I need to go to the doctor? You know what I'm saying? Why can't I go hang out anytime I want to? Why can't I just be with my friends and do this? Why can't I sleep around and then you can't? You know what I mean? Why can't I, all these different things, you know what I mean, that we can come up with as men. And then our wives tell us, hey man, you know what? You might want to reconsider that move. And then we get mad because we so stuck in I'm a man and I should be able to do what I want to do, right? And then we start to resent our wife or resent our kids, resent our family. We start to resent them because they're feeding us what we really need versus what we want. And it says, and that can push you away from me. The biggest reason that people stay away from the church is because of this very same thing. Life ain't going their way, the way that they feel like it should go. What kind of God would allow me to go through what I'm going through in my life because of the way I see things? And therefore, God has to be not real, or he's not the all-knowing God. He only knows something. He hasn't considered my position yet. In the end, it tells us here, remember that God uses all things to work together for good in your life. Even the things you wish were different. Wow. So even though I long to be somewhere else and doing something else, or the way that I see the world, even though I don't want to go to the doctor when my wife tells me, right? Or when she sets up those appointments, or when she gets on me about different things. I used to. My wife was, the other day, I was like, I was talking to her, and she was just telling me about, we were talking about what we're gonna go do, what we're gonna do in the future. I started to get worried about finances because things had been really slow at work, right? And so I'm like, man, and I'm thinking about all these other things, right? And I'm getting upset, and I'm starting to see my wife in my mind. I'm telling you, I'm being real with you. I'm starting to see my wife and my kids as a burden because I'm so worried about finances. And I start looking at how much money you spend on this, and I'm starting to watch every dollar and cent. And now I'm looking at them not as a wife. I'm not looking at my kids as my kids. I'm looking at them as liabilities that I need to, like, I need to, like an airplane that's going down, and I need to throw the weight off of the airplane. And they were weights to me in my mind. This is the mentality because I was stuck. It's telling me I should not do that. That's what this is talking about. That's why I study the word, because if I don't study the word and I don't hear this, then I'm going to be stuck thinking that the way that I'm seeing things is the right way. And then I'm going to think I'm different than anybody. I'm thinking I'm alone in this. God's saying that this particular mindset is prevalent. And this is what a lot of people are struggling with. And this is why we need to encourage one another in the Word of God. This is why I'm sharing the Word of God with you on this channel, because I want to encourage you to understand that you are not alone if you do this. There's nothing wrong with you. This is the sin nature we were born into. This is the sin nature we were born into. Things just go with it. We are human beings that lose our way. We want our way. We want what we want, when we want, how we want it. We want microwave life. There's nothing special about you that doesn't have anybody else. It's only those that when it happens to them, they have the truth and they're armed with the truth, right? Or as our pastor said, guarded up with the truth. So that when the enemy, it says in the Bible, it says we should arm ourselves with the word, so that because we're not naive to the devil's devices, it says in there, and I'm paraphrasing, but it means that we know that the way the enemy is going to come at us. This is why we must know what the truth is, so that when we're looking at a lie, when we're looking at something that's not true, we know that it's not true, even though it looks like it's true, even though it feels like it's true, even though it sounds like it's true, we know it's not true. You are worth something. God did make you for a purpose. But the moment something comes into your life and says, I have no purpose. This doesn't make any sense. Nothing has any meaning. Nothing. I just don't feel like I can go one more day. I think that there is no God, because if there was a God, why? That's what this is saying to us, saying to me today. I'm sharing my devotional time with you. I'm not telling you what to do. I said I'm sharing, like I shared artwork, I'm sharing my devotional time. It says, so accept your situation and then look around you for what I am doing. So Asher is telling me that when something's going on in my life, I need to look around and find out what it is that God wants me to take away from this. Because he says he uses all things, right, to work together for the good in my life. He wants all things to work together for my benefit. So I'm going through something. I'm thinking about something. And it's like, what is it that I'm supposed to get from this? So let me end here, guys. It says, so accept your situation and then look around you for what I am doing. Keep your eyes on me no matter what is happening around you. When you keep me in the center of your thinking, I will help you to make good choices. Our word of the day is don't get stuck in what you think and what you feel, because oftentimes those things can be deceiving. All right, guys, so that's our word of the day today. I got to go outside and try to help my wife and her uncle do some work out there. So I want to thank you guys for coming today. Again, if you guys did receive from the stream today and you like to be a blessing to us, you can do so through Super Chat, Cash App, which I already gave you guys the information. You guys know how to do that. It's pinned at the top of the screen. So you guys, again, I'm praying for you, praying for your families. I hope that we can draw again in the future soon. God bless you, and then you guys have an awesome day. I'll see you guys on Saturday.